Alright, I was experimenting with things here, and one issue that I have with this piece is I feel like you really need it in the car to mount your center console to or whatever, but these holes are just terrible. I mean, I swear, you put anything on here and it seems like it just drops in and it's like an abyss. It just vanishes. And then you got to remove this piece to get in there and get out whatever fell in. And that's just not practical. So I thought about just putting tape over them or something, but I'm trying to make this look a little bit nicer. I mean, I'm a DIY guy. I'm not a professional. Nobody's paying me to do this, but I do want it to look halfway decent. And so I have this vinyl, it so that basically it could sit like this. It'll adhere down to the metal, and that'll just give it basically something to cover those holes. Now obviously with this on, you can't take the metal piece out without ripping this off of here, so this is going to make this semi-permanently in the car. I mean, obviously somebody can peel this off if they want to. It sticks well enough that it'll stay down, but it doesn't stick so bad that you can't peel it off fairly easily without leaving residue if you need to. And full disclosure, I learned that because this will be the second time I've ever worked with this stuff. The first time I put it down, I filmed it. It was okay, but it had some creases, and so I kind of learned some things while putting that on that hopefully this time there won't be any creases. I found it's pretty easy to work with. It's not real sticky when you first set it down, and if you get any kind of bubbles or anything, don't try to smooth them out without a heat gun. Get the heat gun and they will smooth out. If you try to smooth them out without the heat gun, you get the little creases in it, which is what happened to me. I've had this sitting in here for a while now. I was hoping it would kind of relax because it has a tendency to want to roll back up like that, which does not make the installation any easier. I don't know if it's easier to peel this off and start sticking it sideways and roll across, or if it's easier to start peeling it off like from the front and start sticking it there and then peeling it back. The first time I did it front to back, and I got a lot of creases. So this time I'm going to try to do sideways and just see if that makes it any less crease prone. While I'm unpeeling this, let me know in the comments if you tried the burrito recipe and if you liked it or if you felt it needed some changes. It is definitely my favorite burrito recipe. And I'm not just saying that because I'm married to the creator of it. Let's see now if this works out better going straight across. So far, much better. And this is that VVivid Vinyl on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description where you can get it. They sell lots of different colors, patterns, as well as, like, this is more like a sticky wrap. They sell some that's more like a leather, it's a vinyl, pleather, whatever you want to call it, but it's more like a leather feel, whereas this is more like a wrapping paper. Now this one laid down pretty good. There's a little bit of a air bubble or two, but nothing real crazy. You can obviously peel it back up and try to pull on it if you want. I didn't have real good luck trying that when I did it before. I seem to make it worse the more I pulled on it. So, but the heat gun definitely did not mess anything up last time, so that's what I'm going to do now. And you are going to want a glove, something like this, that's going to protect your hand, because this does get very hot. So you see that smoothed out nicely. Obviously it shows all of the holes underneath, so future owner can choose whether they want to just cut these holes out if they need to remove this piece, or rip the whole thing off and start over. But you can see that is huge improvement over having all those big holes and ugly metal there. And then when I put the center console over the top of this, that part will be the only part that shows. For edges like this, you can wrap it around and tuck it up underneath, which is what I did the first time. It worked well. You can also obviously cut that off if you want. So much better, which is now giving me confidence. I'm going to at least try to wrap this with the vinyl probably all the way up to the CD slot, just so it has a nice straight across line there, mainly just to cover up that ugliness there. I'm not going to try to wrap all of this though, so just going to be covering that spot there. Alright, your handy dad's plan was to put this all the way up to this line right across there. I don't have the skills to do that, I'll be honest. I tried cutting it out around here, and I ended up cutting it about along that line. It was a mess, and I don't know how to take these off. The documentation available on this car is very limited. So I don't know if it's safe to just literally yank those off of there, or if they have some weird retention system in the back that you have to pull this whole panel off to get to. So I don't want to break anything, since nothing's broken other than the appearance here. I also tried to run it down to this line here so that it would cover up all this chewed up spot, but it didn't want to stick to there. I cleaned all this with alcohol beforehand, in case you're wondering. I'd call it a slight improvement over what was there. Not perfect. Obviously, if you have some tips or suggestions on how you could get it to go all the way up over all these things without a whole lot of difficulty, please leave a comment, because I'd love to hear how to do it. I'd like to get better at doing this vinyl stuff, because I think a lot of these police interiors get so chewed up that if you have the ability to fix them, it helps. Kind of like I did up there. I mean, no, it's not perfect, and you can pick it apart, or even that one, you can pick it apart, but it's still better than having a big old hole in it.